What's up, everybody? This is Alex with WMD, back at you again, here with William Mathewson,
Hey, yo.
the founder and owner of WMD, and we are here basically just to for a live performance. So William's been playing a couple shows, and the last one he did, maybe just tell me a little bit about it. What was
Sure.
what was the theme of the show?
So it's called Spoken Volt, and it's at a place called Tandem Bar here in Denver, and it's basically like a long ambient event. Do about 45-minute sets, 3 performers, good group, get some beers, hang out on a Friday. Supposed to do some kind of ambient stuff. This one was a little bit higher tempo, actually, but still tried to play to the event, try to do something down tempo. So I did like an all 98 BPM, kind of like little bit funky, hip hoppy, but like light, moody thing.
So how long was your set?
So it's 42 to 45 minutes, is somewhere around there.
So it was supposed to be 45 minutes.
It's supposed to be 45 minutes.
All right, let's not get into the specifics there. So your set time, your goal was 45 minutes.
Yep.
And you wanted to do a down tempo thing.
Yep.
And did you prepare parts as far as like going into like this with like each like a bunch of saved parts, or did you come in with more of a like starting point and improvised thing?
No, so I always do a lot of planning. So I use Metron and Volterras as like my primary
Driving
sequencing.
sequencer, yeah.
Yeah, so I basically had these like 9 or 10 sets of variations that I could play.
Okay,
And
so
they
9
move
or
fairly
10
linearly.
sessions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They move like fairly linearly into each other. Didn't have any presets. I had like 4 presets in a simulator, but that's just voicing. I didn't have like drum changes or anything really specific in that vein. So all the sequencing is really coming from this, and then just playable transitions and then playing with mixing a lot.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think something that a lot of people are going to be interested in when they are hearing your set is just kind of what voices you're using. So maybe
Sure.
just run us through the voices, and then we'll get into it.
Sure. So I'm using the Synchrodyne and the Expand, and I'm using it the Synchrodyne stays in tune all the time and is a primary oscillator and its own filter, and then I'm using the Expand just to modulate the filter.
Right, okay.
This time. So I'm using the OR mode and doing a lot of like pulsed or slow pulse to fast pulse to give like that kind of FM-y sound that it'll do, or the formant filter sound that it'll do. So I'm using that as some drones and then as some like accent pieces. It's not doing the bass or anything.
Okay, cool.
So it's like drone and lead, basically.
Right, okay, so the intro that we'll hear.
The intro is all Synchrodyne.
Okay.
And then some of the like higher frequency, like little leads and stuff that are all programmed are also Synchrodyne.
Right, okay, great.
Yep. So, and then standard WMD drum stuff using Crater Kick, Fracture for like snare and accent on the ticks. Chimera is my hi-hat.
And you have 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm using 2 of them. I don't think I'm actually going to use the first one here very much.
Okay.
It's like 2 opposing hi-hats. They're
Right.
patched, but they sound really similar, so it's just to give some like variation.
Right.
And then Crucible here and there.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the drum stuff.
Okay.
There is an accent snare coming from the simulator as well, and a 909 hat.
Right.
Yep. So that's that. And then the bass voice is going to be the PDO modulated by itself, modulated by a mod box, running through our dual-triggered slew for fun. For some of the
so just
slide
a little
stuff.
bit of slidey stuff.
Yep. Yep. And then pull 0 and a couple envelopes and that whole thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then effects?
So I have one other voice, and that is 4 assimilator channels. And basically I sampled the spectrum doing sawtooth wave, sampled a PWM sweep, and set it up to do basically totally in tune, easy chords, sequenced with Volterra.
Okay,
so that's
great.
a major part of my set is
Right.
the pad stuff. That's all being filtered paraphonically by the overseer.
Right.
So all 4 mixed together, 1 overseer. Pretty straightforward.
Just out of the master outs.
Out of the master outs, yeah, and it's like stereo panned and
I
stuff.
do the same thing.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, and then this, I think you went through it a little bit, but is this just modulating something? Like you got a voice coming out of the Spectrum? Or
Yeah, so the
simulator?
Spectrum I'm just using as an LFO right now, and that modulates the assimilator and the overseer a little bit.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then you've got an overseer on the master and a muscle on the master.
Yep, overseer on the master, muscle just to handle any peakiness that I might hit. And then I'm using axis so the bottom part of axis is fading between the master out of the overseer and an all wet mix out of this audio damage Averb. So I can just basically do a hard, wet, dry mix. I was doing an ambient set. I was like, I want to be able to just wash and reverb. So this lets me do that. And then this top channel is taking the Q mix out of the mixer, running it through the Geiger counter, and fading between my master and that. So I can basically bring up any channel and do an effect and be able to fade into that effect, bypassing the overseer, basically bypassing everything else, so I can just bring something else out while I'm doing something else. It's great for doing transitions.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much for the awesome explanation.
Of course.
And, yeah, we're just going to get into it. So, yeah. Have fun, man.
Great. Thanks,
Okay.
Alex.
William, that was awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Alex. It's
Um,
fun.
I cut you short. It's like 25 minutes instead of the 45, mainly just because our cameras can only record for 30 minutes. And,
Sure, yeah.
It's kind of a limitation of what we got.
Right. We don't need to make that long of a video.
But what I was thinking is that some people might just want to. There's some things that we didn't get to that people might be interested in. I sure am.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So the SynthWorks FSR4, it's a force-sensitive resistor kind of thing. So you basically just have 4 different pads that you can hit,
Yeah, it's
and
a
you
great
use that in
performance
every
tool.
set I've seen you play.
Yeah,
So
I
what
love
are
this
you
thing.
using it for in this set?
So the left one here, this is controlling my overall reverb decay, so I can do big washes with it the harder I press. The next one does the Doppler's regen, which is inside my Geiger counter effects voice.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that at the beginning. It's
Yeah,
Geiger
yeah.
counter into Doppler, then into the axis.
Ah, cool.
And then the other one is a gate that, what does it do? Oh, it steps through, I believe it steps through the graphic sequencer
Oh, okay.
if I have it stepped.
Right.
There's a switch in here, and I don't think I used that today, but this, and then this is the Doppler's decay time, or delay time.
Delay time.
And
okay.
then the next one controls the synchrodyne expand directly. It's VCO frequency.
Okay, so you're just going into the VCO frequency,
Just
full
directly.
per octave, or
No,
FM?
not into the exponential FM.
Okay, cool. So that's
Yeah.
one thing that I wanted to talk about. Just real quick is how you
Yeah.
use the synchrodyne versus how I use it sometimes.
Sure.
And see what's going on. So basically, you said at the beginning, the synchrodyne is a filter, but it does have its own VCO,
Mm-hmm.
and the VCO runs through a PLL, so we can clock the filter. So you are essentially doing key tracking with the filter.
Yeah.
With this kind of weird half track thing. The PLL does
Right.
the best it can.
Yeah, I didn't play around with that much. It was kind of set and forget
Right.
and just had the voice sound.
Right.
What I was messing with was the other VCO in OR mode and in PWM.
Exactly.
So I could basically disable the filter from working, and you get that kind of stuttered effect.
Yeah, we heard that at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning, and then it was actually throughout. And I'm playing with the course knob to kind of set it to a kind of in-tempo-y thing. Yeah.
And then we're hearing the synchrodyne, the main synchrodyne's oscillator itself.
Yes.
And then the second the one on the synchrodyne expand is just clocking the filter.
Yeah, it's.
But you are using OR mode, so you are clocking the filter with both.
With both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
with both, I could switch that off and on, and then I made sure that the synchrodyne expand does not track volt per octave because I wanted
Right.
to use it completely separately.
Right.
Yep.
And so one thing that I wanted to bring up about that is, again, we said that he's got the FSR going into the pitch or just the FM
Mhm.
input of the synchrodyne. And so if you think about it, that's actually kind of his cutoff frequency that he's modulating with that, because he's speeding up the oscillator that is clocking the filter, and the filter is opening or closing depending
Yeah.
on how fast the clock
It
is going.
basically gives me like a second cutoff frequency. They exist simultaneously.
Exactly.
Yeah, because one hard takes over the other one.
Right.
So you have like 2 cutoffs at once. You can get some Formanti sounds.
Right.
The-
And that's how I
yeah.
use it all the time.
Yeah, it's great.
But what I like to do is I forego or forfeit the opportunity to have direct control over the filter
Mhm.
by just doing key tracking, and then I listen to both oscillators because I
Yeah.
really like to have intervals.
Yeah, I do that sometimes, or I'll do like a 2 sawtooth slightly detuned.
Right.
And that's super fun.
Yeah.
But for this one, I needed it to be a little bit more, because I used it as some upper register stuff. I want it to be more sparse and
Yeah,
like,
and,
twinkly and nice sounding.
I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Maybe I'm not going to sneeze. So the last thing is, I was really surprised by the melodies you were able to write on the synchrodyne itself. I kind of zoomed in on the mini slew when it was happening,
Mhm.
and it's those end melodies, kind of like the do 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 do
Mhm.
do 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 do, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was all written with gates and voltages on Metron and Volterra.
Yeah. Everything was programmed ahead of time on Metron and Volterra.
Do you have an architect in here?
I don't have an architect in here right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
my job has been develop on this and bug test and stuff. So I took my Architect out
Right.
to work on to
You
just
and me
force
both,
me to do
buddy.
these. Yeah. So yeah, everything, all the baselines were sequenced. The crater was sequenced. Volt
Oh
per
man,
octave.
volt per octave. If you guys caught that, that was crazy. I'll maybe post a comment in the link. Of
Yeah,
the
point it
video.
out in there because it came through today. It sounded
That was
amazing.
That sounded so cool.
Yeah, really
That's
happy
why we
with
made
that.
it.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, everything was sequenced with the Volterras, including the 4-note chords coming from a simulator.
Yep.
Yep. Just built everything
That's an
right.
entire
right
Volterra
on here.
itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is one cool thing about Volterra is using it for 4-note chords because it does have 4 outs. You don't get confused. It's just like this one does that. You can use one for drums. You can use one for melodies, and you can use one for chords. Again, you can use as many of them as you want. We're going to try and test to up to 16, but in theory, we don't know. You can probably get as many as you want in there.
Mm-hmm.
William's using 3, and everyone except for one jack,
Just one jack not used.
is filled. So that's 11 jacks, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's great with a simulator. It's great with for doing some timbral sequencing on the drums.
Yeah. Last thing I'm going to say, for all you guys asking about stereo filters, he has 2 overseers in here, and that thing is just so versatile and amazing. I know we call it a DJ filter, and yeah, it is really cool to use it on the master and use the tilt and stuff and get some cool stereo effects, but using it on chords as well is so useful, or samples, whatever you want. I mean, he obviously had samples of chords or samples of oscillators.
Samples of oscillators,
chords.
yeah. No, I'm using the assimilator as a synthesizer this time. Nope, I didn't record any pads.
It's a full, basically lots of oscillators.
Yeah.
And then but it gets mixed, goes in the overseer, and then you got that over that, and then you can run breaks through it. You can run whatever you want. It's super fun.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you again for playing.
Yeah,
that
course,
was awesome.
Course. Yeah,
and
thanks for taking the time.
As
great.
always, if you guys have any comments, concerns, if you just want to see more performances in general, leave them in the comments. Send me a DM or an email or whatever. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Peace.